issues during the time of Rizal and are still prevailing nowadays. Prepared by the Paralumans. The issue of corruption. In the time of Rizal, there are corrupt colonial officials because the Philippines didn't have much stricter laws in the Spanish colonial era. And this motivate Spanish officials to sail away to the country to be able to gain money and material things. They also forcibly married heiresses of rich Filipino families to instantly make a name for themselves and acquire their wealth. An example of this is Governor General Primo de Vera, which operated the casino and accepted bribes among other things to acquire huge amounts of money. Friars also used the word of God to collect and steal the offerings of people. They are also considered powerful during these times. Political corruption in government are widespread until today because there will always be people who seek high office whether in politics or charities because they want power, and some see it as a way to make money for themselves. And we have seen in the news that many incompetent officials make careers in public service, turning the administration into an inefficient organization prone to corruption and manipulation by politicians. There were electoral abuse, including underreported fraudulent financing of political parties, vote buying, or spreading false news during election campaigns. Thus, this results to poor governance. But we can do something about it. Possible solutions are annual assessment of all public officials by the BIR, a more effective and efficient tax system, regular surprise examination of all government offices, timely governmental audit by COA or by an independent auditing firm, strict regulation of all corporations in the Philippines, improved integrity in our justice system, and lastly, continuing professional education requirements for politicians. Racial discrimination. Racism was prevalent in the Spanish colonial era. Dark-skinned Filipinos were called Indios and also considered as the lowest ranking in the social hierarchy. They are also called uneducated and treated indifferently. Jose Rizal was also a profound victim of racism. He was also heavily discriminated. This is also the reason why Spaniards considered Filipinos as inferior because of their dark skin. Doña Victorina from Noli Me Tangere embodied the poisonous thinking of white supremacy because she hated her face and she wanted to marry a white Spaniard to raise her social status. Today, Filipinos suffer from racism, and it is easy to distinguish that. Almost everyone insults us. They think we're poor and not even human. They really like insulting us just because we don't look and act like them. But we also have racism among our very own race. The Aitas, Bajau, are being looked down despite of having a rich culture. They are often associated to poverty, even using Bajaus by syndicate to beg for money. That's why often when Filipinos refer to beggars, they call them Bajaus. There is also regionalism. Unfortunately, the people in the provinces are being looked down by those in the city like Manila. They have wrong and misguided information on the lives and culture that changes their perspective. Since Filipinos in the province have different accent, they are often being laughed at. There are possible solutions about racial discrimination. Although we are already living on another age where many things developed and changed, racial discrimination is still existing. One possible solution for this is to create more advocacies and spread awareness on its cause and effects for the people to know that it will only create misunderstandings, chaos, and other negative things which is not good for ourselves and for our country. In addition, there were laws created to protect people from its harm, such as the Presidential Decree number 966 and House Bill 8637. But further research should still be done to expand these rules and its scope to protect more people from the negative effects of discrimination, and is because other forms of it is arising. An issue of forced labor. Forced labor is very prevalent in Rizal's time. It is often called polo y servicio, wherein it was imposed upon 16 to 6 years old Filipinos. They had to forcibly work to build schools, churches, and bridges for 40 days a year, and they're only paid for 50 centavos, and worse, nothing at all. It was then revised into 18 to 60 years old, and the service was 15 days. But then, the privilege was able to avoid labor by paying fala, which is paying a large of money. Valeriano Whaler, or the butcher, also mistreated and abused the Philippine workers for his own advantage. This shows how atrocious polo was in that era. In the current time, forced labor is seen in many ways, and some are indirect. Like, many workers have salary of below the minimum salary, and most of them are dangerous works, like the current issue in the pandemic, wherein medical practitioners are in dangerous environment due to the virus, where their life is at risk but the salary is not enough. So some of the workers initiate rally or protest against unreleased benefits that they supposed to receive. Adding to that, there is child labor, where the child is being forced to work at a young age due to poverty. This applies to the most cases of the child labor in the Philippines. Lastly, in agricultural sections, farmers are being on the low belt of the country, where they receive the least benefits, and also they are forced to sell their products in a low price. The possible solution for the forced labor is proper salary for the workers, and good office or work venue, and following the working hours for the workers for health safety. Most importantly is to address the corruption so that the country can be in order and the people can receive all the benefits they should supposed to have to improve the quality of their life.